On today's episode of Let's Wine About It, we will be making blueberry wine from actual blueberries. And you'll notice I'm really investing in the craft because today I'm wearing a blue shirt. I'm really excited about this because I've never made a wine solely from fruit, because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get like 3 pounds of blueberries, mash it up, add some water and sugar, but the basis of it is just gonna be fruit and fruit juice, right, that like I made. So no store-bought juice. Makes it a little bit more authentic. You'll notice that I do have a mug of coffee. It's really cute. It says I spent all my money in Australia, so I bought you a half mug. I had asked my friend, name's Tiana, in case you want to find her, to get me one of those refrigerator magnets that said, my best friend went to Australia and all I got was a magnet. So you'll notice that this is not what I asked for, but it's okay. You know, we're all just doing our best. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go over very quickly the equipment that you'll need. You're going to need a 2-gallon fermenting bucket. We're going to end up making 1 gallon of wine. This is a gallon of water here. But you need a lot of space for all the fruit. So you want a 2-gallon bucket. And also one that comes with, it's called a grommet. It's a little hole in there to fit your airlock. So that's the first thing you're going to need. Second thing, gallon of water. The 1 gallon carboys that you buy actually fill to much more than a gallon, probably like 1.25 gallons. So I filled it up to the top. I want to have excess liquid in my wine, have extra rather than not enough. So that's why I filled it up with just tap water. And you can do that too. Then you're going to need granulated white sugar. We're going to use probably about 2 pounds, 1.5 pounds. Or we're going to see. I'm going to find out like as I make this. Then you'll need a brewing bag, okay? This is to put the fruit in, you'll mash it up, you'll put it in your fermenter, because you're gonna end up wanting to take all the pulp and mashed up fruit out after several weeks. It's a lot easier to do if you have a brewing bag. A little container to weigh out the sugar on a scale over there. You can get one, you don't have to. 2 cups of sugar is 1 pound of sugar. So if you know that, you can just measure it out that way instead of weighing it, but I like to weigh it. You're gonna need Fleischmann's bread yeast. That's what I'm using, available on Amazon, and I have links in the description. Airlock, ½ teaspoon measure, a potato masher. If you don't have a potato masher, you mash up the blueberries with your hands, but it's just cleaner, better to use potato masher, more efficient, and that's to break down the blueberries, get the juice out, right? So the 2 optional things that you can use are a hydrometer and a cylinder. Now, what the hydrometer will allow you to do, should you choose to get one and go that route, is 2 things. First, by measuring the density of your liquid before it becomes wine beforehand, and then measuring it after fermentation, the difference between those 2 measurements will tell you exactly how much alcohol is in your wine. The second thing it'll allow you to do is to determine when your fermentation is complete. To determine if your fermentation is done, you take a measurement, say after 3 weeks it's been fermenting, and let's say it's 0.01. And then a week later you take another measurement and it's 0.01. Well, that tells you the yeast aren't eating the sugar anymore, it is complete, it's done. Then you don't risk bottling it, having the fermentation continue, carbon dioxide building up, and it exploding. And then to maneuver the must into the graduated cylinder, this is called, oh my goodness, turkey baster. Wow, okay, yes. So that's what you'll need. And then the other thing, which is optional, but I'm gonna add, and I think it'll help, is what's called pectic enzyme, okay? This is a chemical compound, an enzyme, that breaks down the gelatinous material in fruit so that it releases more juice. So I'm gonna add some in. If you don't, it's no big deal. It'll just help a little bit, make it a little better, right? And then a spoon for mixing the sugars and stuff around. Let's get on it. First thing we're gonna do. Oh, just realized I didn't show you the blueberries. Please hold. First thing you're gonna need is 3 pounds of blueberries. This is what 3 pounds look like. I did the calculations. There's 3 pounds in here, so I don't have to weigh anything out. If you get a 5-pound bag or multiple 1-pound bags, you might have to weigh them out. You can just use a food scale. But this is 3 pounds already, and I know that, so I am going to go ahead and just use it. Step 1, like always, is to sanitize all your equipment. For that, you use Star Stand sanitizer. Link in the description. I use anyway, about 1/4 of an ounce per gallon of liquid. Get a big bucket, put that 1/4 ounce in there, mix it up, and then you put all of your stuff in it, leave it out to dry, and then you're good to go. Step 2 is to put all of the blueberries into the brew bag, okay? It can be kind of messy. So what you can do is get it pulled over the side like that, and then just pour them in. And it's a lot. 3 pounds of blueberries is a lot of blueberries, okay? If you think there's too many, there's not enough. Just kidding. 3 pounds, okay? 3 pounds. Set that down right here. Push it back over the edge. Close it up like so. Make it nice and tight. And then tie it off, so that it stays closed throughout the process. Because now comes the fun part where you mash it. You get as much juice out of this as you can. All right, I'm realizing something. These blueberries are still pretty frozen. I left them in the freezer and then took them out, which reminds me, actually, an important step here. The best way to do this is to get your 3 pounds of blueberries and then freeze them. Freezing the blueberries, what it does is the juices inside the blueberries will freeze, and that water, when it freezes, expands. So it breaks down the cell walls in those blueberries, allowing more to be released and more juice to be released when you then thaw. However, you have to actually let it thaw. I haven't done that enough yet, so I'm gonna give this probably an hour, come back, and then finish mashing it up. Alrighty, we are back. It's been several hours actually. It took a long time to really thaw out the blueberries. If it looks like I'm perspiring throughout this, it's because I am. Not only is it too hot inside my ventilated house, it's even hotter inside this unventilated garage. So I apologize if it's gross or weird, but I'm just doing the best I can. Let's take a look. As you saw, I used both the potato masher and my hands to just smush it all up. You just want to make sure you've extracted as much juice as you can. Now at this stage, we're gonna do step 3 if you follow this optional step, which is to add pectic enzyme. It comes in a little baggie like this off of Amazon or at a local home winemaking and brew store. And the ratio is, or the amount is 1/2 teaspoon per gallon of juice that you're using. So by adding water, I'll bring up the juice to a gallon, so I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon now. Alrighty, and step 4 is to add the remainder of your water. So you'll recall, I just filled up this container, this carboy, which I know is about 1.25 gallons of water when it's filled to the neck. You want to add about that much, whatever container you use, whether that's a pitcher or a 1 gallon jar or whatever. It's helpful because then you know how much it is. So I'm just gonna add this in. So I actually, as I was doing this, I changed my mind. I have decided to add an additional pound of blueberries. I just think adding the water in there, really seeing it dilute the blueberry juice. I want to add another pound to make sure that I have enough blueberry and blueberry juice in there to get a quality wine, because that's what we want at the end of it. So if you're taking notes, following along with the recipe to do it yourself, 4 pounds of blueberries, okay? I had another bag of frozen blueberries, weighed it out on my scale, 16 ounces, once again, is a pound. I don't know why I always tell you that, but it is. And I'm gonna let it thaw. Once again, it'll probably take 30 years, so I'll see you in 2050, okay? Bye-bye. That actually didn't take that long. I just am an impatient person. I have, worked on it. I'm the kind of person that will have 2-day shipping free because of Amazon Prime, and I will deliberately select $3.99 1-day shipping every goddamn time because I think I could wait 2 days, or I could pay a little bit and get it tomorrow. And it's just, anyway, I don't know why I went on that rant, but here is a thawed pound of blueberries. Now, I was going to show you me actually adding in that extra pound and then mashing that up and all that, but for some reason my microphone broke when it was supposed to be recording that part. So now it's too late, it's added, can't unadd it. Anyway, I'm gonna add the rest of a little bit of water and mix it up. So now, if I've kept track of the steps correctly, step 4 is to take a reading. We're going to see what this reading will tell us using our hydrometer and cylinder. It will tell us the density of the liquid, and then we can reason from that to figure out how much sugar is already in. But that will tell me where it is at, and therefore I can infer from that how much sugar we're going to need to add. So, graduated cylinder, hydrometer, turkey baster. Now that I remember the name. All right, so this is sitting at about 1.019. 1.000 is the density of water. So if there weren't any sugar in here, my hydrometer would level out at 1.000. So that means there is 20 points, or 19 points, worth of sugar. A pound of sugar in a gallon of liquid will give you 45 points. So there's a gallon of liquid here. There is just about 19, or half of 45. So therefore I know there's about half a pound of sugar currently diffused in this juice. I want our starting reading, our starting density, to be about 1.110. So we can do some simple calculations. Well, my phone is up there, dang it. All right, we're gonna do it right here. If we have 1.020 originally, and I want to get to 1.110, that means I need 90 points worth of sugar, or 2 total pounds of sugar, or 4 cups. All of these are equivalent. So what I'm going to do, since I have calculated I want to add 2 pounds, is I'm going to add 1.5 pounds, because I'd rather be in a situation where I didn't add enough, and so then I can add more, than I added too much and there's nothing I can do except dilute it, and therefore dilute the flavors of the blueberry as well.
So I have come to the sad conclusion that my microphone is irredeemably broken. It kept somehow ending the video, and I would talk and do things for 5 minutes and it just wouldn't record. Or it would record the video without the sound. So we're just gonna have to settle with this iPhone microphone sound just for the time being. The things that I did and intended to record was I added that 1.5 pounds of sugar. I took another reading. It was only at 1.060, which didn't make a lot of sense to me. So then I shook it up, took another reading. It increased it a little bit, but not a lot. I then added a whole nother pound, so now we're at 2.5 pounds total. And the reading that it gave me was 1.090. Now, if that fermented to dryness, which means if the yeast ate every bit of sugar in this brew, the total alcohol content would be about 12%. I plugged that into an online calculator, which I will link to. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Even if it took it only to about 10%, a 10% wine is good with me. So I'm not gonna add any more sugar. There's also some sugar probably still locked away in the fruit, which will dissolve into solution as the yeast ferment our juice. So I'm really happy with that. Step 6 then is to add our yeast, which will be Fleischmann's bread yeast. I'm going to go ahead and use half a teaspoon of bread yeast. I don't know the equivalent in grams of that, but that looks to be about what I usually add from the packets. So just gonna add it in. And then just mix it up. Make sure it gets all thoroughly dissolved in there. Put your lid on. Step 7, and I really hope I kept all these steps straight in my head. If not, I'm sure there'll be little text box throughout shitting on me for forgetting the actual numbering. But step 7, to fill your airlock about halfway right where the lines are with sanitizer water. The purpose of a airlock is to let the carbon dioxide gas out that your yeast will produce without letting anything like bacteria or oxygen in. So it's a one-way valve, right? So fill it up halfway with sanitizer water, which I will do now. And now what will happen is over the next several days, the yeast will replicate, it will reproduce and colonize, as they say. And once they've colonized sufficiently, they will start eating the sugar that's in there and producing alcohol and carbon dioxide. And over probably 3 weeks, it will consume all of the sugar and we'll come to the next step, which will be to siphon all of the wine in here into a clear glass carboy. But I will be here for that, and we'll have video number 2 explaining what to do next. Thank you so very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment on this video for ways that I can improve, or for fermentations or wines that you think it would be really cool for me to make and to show you how to make. So thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.